This is a presentation on the human condition. I love cars. I love driving cars. Do you like cars? My first car was a Toyota Corolla. I bought it because my mom said that that was the best car because of its safety and economical value. She said it was the only trusted vehicle on the market, never mind all the others. Ironically, never mind the driver behind the wheel was me, prone to daydreaming and a need for speed. One day I did get in an accident, but the car was strong enough and no one was injured. Thank God. I am safe, self aware enough to know now that I have a heavy foot and tend to like to speed sometimes. Anyway, moving on to a more universal fault is self awareness. The lack of self awareness and the willingness to fight to combat our issues is something we all deal with universally. Maybe you have a lack of self awareness around issues until you find yourself at fault or to blame for something. The lack of awareness shows up as blaming others for our shortcomings. We love to blame others for our own problems and not look at ourselves truthfully in the face and own it. The Bible says, before you judge others, see the plank in your own eye. We know we should not do something, and yet we do it anyway. Until one day we're out and burnt out. We're old, burnt out, and angry with ourselves and everyone else for going this far and never course correcting. We missed a turn in life, and now we can't seem to find our way back to our original intentions or our own desires or our own dreams or our own wants and needs. We feel we have lost and we have regrets. We can't forgive ourselves for our mistakes and failures. If we don't face them now, then we can't move forward and deal with life. If we don't deal with the shortcomings, if we don't, then we'll go through life with a chip on our shoulder and feel like we were cheated. So the common human condition is the lack of self-awareness, the feeling of a lack of self-worth, the lack of self-evaluation, a lack of self-authenticity, and a lack of self-love. Any one of these can be an issue. And the way to navigate out of that is with the map of your own life, your personal GPS. Pick whatever human condition you are dealing with and begin to use your tool to get past the stuff of life. Get past the stuff of life is your GPS. And the way to do that is to share it, own it, and use it for fuel to move past it. GPS stands for get past the stuff. And I like to say, Sue, SOU, share it, own it, and use up what you have and create something new. In a nutshell, start journaling. That's the first thing to do in terms of self awareness, whether it's a loss of a dream or an ideal that you've hoped for, shame, anger, ego, grief, loss of life purpose. What did you lose? Was it time, yourself, or a person? This is a process to overcome the shame and the guilt and the anger and recalculating, just like the GPS does, it course corrects. So we can turn that loss into purpose. And what's next? What will result is your emotional awareness, emotional wellness, more aligned, overcome the anger, the shame, the numbness, and find your life wellness and your self worth. And then you own it, own the problem, learn more about emotional intelligence, regulation, self love, self empowerment, self mastery, misaligned, all the misalignments that you've had and not living to your true self and that have kept you feeling alone. You need to realize that your true skills and your gifts and evaluate your life and your emotional relationships and with yourself and get to know what you're truly feeling. And then you share it. That's the last step. And you create a backup plan in your life, create a plan B, create something that will not leave you alone, create something you own, create your contribution and turn your focus to something tangible. How do you course correct? You want to know? Well, for me, I quit my job. I went back to an old passion of mine, which was writing. I found my muse. I enjoyed my talents. I made them my everything. I stopped listening to outside voices about what I should be and started to listen to myself. I wanted to be a writer, and that's what I became. Then I learned I could make income from books, and the rest is history. Books led to a blog led to social media, and social media led to coaching and book writing services. So, as I encourage you, the steps are to share what you're feeling, own it, and use it. Use it up in your talents and make it your priority. That way, you're shifting the focus from loss to purpose.